This is the Para Cave Podcast, proudly brought to you by major sponsor Parramatta Leagues Club, home of the Eels, and also home of Jack's Pale Ale.
Welcome to another episode of the Para Cave Podcast. And now over to your host, Troy Warner, broadcasting live from the world-famous Para Cave.
And yes, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Para Cave Podcast. Troy Warner here, and I am joined by my little co-host today for the Tipping Podcast. She is back, and she is very happy because... What did you do last week?
I got a perfect round in my tipping.
A perfect round. Well done.
Yes, every single one was right.
Yes, well done.
I should have used my joker round.
Well, yeah, that would have been good. You would have got double points there because you got two bonus points for getting a perfect round. So you got 9 points. If you used your joker round, you would have got 18 points. But you did climb up the ladder a little bit. Yeah. I got 6 out of 7. Because...
You tipped Cara.
That's right. And you tipped Penrith, and that was the only game that I got wrong, obviously.
Yeah, but why would you tip Para?
Because I thought they could win.
No, they can't.
Anyway.
I wonder why I'm so against Para, but I still go on.
Yeah, a lot of people do ask me that, but we'll have to work that out one day.
Can you tell them I don't know?
Yeah, well, you might have to think about it, and we'll let them know before the season ends. But the Tipping Podcast brought to you by Assure Strata Reports on Instagram. Give them a follow. And also Buddy Oldman Masters Boxer. Give him a follow as well on Instagram. That would be much appreciated. They are the sponsors of the Para Cave Podcast tipping competition, which is getting down to the wire now. I think there's 8 games to go, 8 rounds to go, and it is very close up the top. I think there's joint leaders, and the rest of the top 8 is very close together as well. And also, along with Ella getting a perfect round, congratulations to the other 24 people that got a perfect round as well. So
yeah, but I'm the main one here.
Well, yes, you do have a voice on here. But no, still, congratulations to the other 24 people that got a perfect round as well.
All
because
the people who were in the tipping podcast to send a voice recording.
Yeah, well, they could.
And it could be the final, at the end of the final tipping podcast.
Yes, maybe. Well, we are in round number 20 now.
20?
That's right. So round number 20, and there's this round and 7 more to go, and it kicks off on Thursday night at Suncorp Stadium up in Brisbane. Dolphins v Cowboys. And look, the Dolphins, I think, had the bye last week. But the Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow is back on deck. Jake Averillo returns to the wing as well. So a couple of changes there for the Cowboys. Jordan McLean will miss Thursday's game as he manages a calf and ankle niggles. Tom McKaylee start at prop. So look, he's made a few changes. Todd Payton, because they lost to the Bulldogs last week, 12 points to 8 at home, and a bit of pressure on Todd Payton at the moment. So they will be needing to get this win in this all Queensland affair, but a big boost for the Dolphins with the Hammer back at fullback after being rested for State of Origin. So, Ella, who are you going to tip in this one?
In this one, I'm going for the Dolphins.
Yes, good choice. I think I will do the same thing. I'll go for the Dolphins in that one. I think it will be a 1-12 game, I think, in that one. But I am tipping the Dolphins. The first game on Friday night is at 6 p.m, sees at Sharks Stadium, sees the Sharks take on the Roosters. Now, these two sides, the Sharks got a much-needed win last week. A much-needed win against the Dolphins last week, 24 points to 12. The Roosters, they had a close game against the Dragons, 31 points to 24 at, I think it was Cogra Oval. They got the win there. So for the Sharkies, they've named the same side, so that's pretty good for them. That's what you want to do. You want to name the same sort of side each and every week if you can, because that will get some consistency in your team. Adam Fanua-Blake, the 2025 purchase, will play his 200th NRL game as well. Sifa Talakai goes into the centres. For the Roosters, Chad Townsend is back at 5'8". Hugo Savala, unfortunately, is injured, so he comes in for his first game since round number 5. Sandon Smith has been named on an extended squad. I would have thought they would have went Sandon Smith, but they didn't. They went with Chad Townsend. Lindsay Collins returns to the starting side and Spencer Leniu back to the bench. So a few changes there. Look, this is going to be a really tight game, I think. Ella, who are you going for in this one?
I am going for the Roosters in
The Roosters. Okay. Look, I think that win will give the Sharkies a bit of confidence, and they are at home, so I'm going to go the Sharks in that one.
That's not nice.
Well,
I already know who I'm going for in this one.
yes, well, the second game on Friday night is at CommBank Stadium at 8 p.m. It is the Panthers.
Versus Rabbitohs.
That's right. I won't need to ask you who you're going for in this one.
But you still need to.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We'll get to that one then. Nathan Cleary will sit out Friday's game. Blaze Talangi and Brad Schneider will be in the halves. And Isaiah Yeo is also been handed a rest, but Dylan Edwards and Brian To'o are back after they didn't play against Parramatta last week. Liam Martin still remains sidelined with a wrist injury from Origin, and Isaac Tungo is suspended. Paul Alamotti goes back into the centres. Also, Scott Sorensen returns from suspension as well. So, for the Rabbitohs, Lewis Dodd, he has got named back into the side. He will be on the bench, number 17. Jack Whiten will link in the halves with Cody Walker injured. Latrell Mitchell, he returns from Origin duties, and Alex Johnston goes back to the wing. Will Alex Johnston score another try and get closer to that record? Will he break it this year? I don't know. 8 games to go. Possibility he can. I think he will. Ella, who are you tipping in this one? I don't need to ask, but who are you?
Panthers.
Yes.
And Queenie, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry for not going Rabbitohs.
Okay.
I just have to go Panthers.
Yes, look, I will go the Panthers as well.
Good job. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I just think the Rabbitohs are struggling at the moment, and the Panthers will, look, even with Nathan Cleary and Isaiah Yeo out, I think they will get the victory there. So we move to Saturday football, Super Saturday, and it is the Raiders taking on my Parramatta Eels down there in Canberra, GIO Stadium at 3 p.m. Now, for the Raiders, they had the bye last week, so Josh Papali'i and Hudson Young are back to the forward pack, and Corey Horsburgh shifts to lock. Morgan Smithies and Simi Sasagi moving to the interchange bench. Some big changes for the Parramatta Eels. Joash Papali will start at 5'8", as he did last week against the Panthers. He wasn't named there originally, but this Tuesday he has been named. And with coach Jason Riles looking towards the future, Riley Smith is back from suspension. At hooker, Dylan Brown has been moved to the 18th man. Kitione Kautoga has unfortunately suffered a season-ending ankle injury. So Jack Williams will go back to the back row. Jermaine Hopgood into the starting side at prop, and Jordan Shamrani is a new face on the interchange bench. A lot of changes there. It will be tough for Parramatta to win down in Canberra. They don't have the best of records down there in Canberra. It is very tough. It'll be cold. I think, it's going to be... Last time they played was up in Darwin. It was 50 points to 12 to the Raiders, and the time before that it was 41 to 8. So they have a really good record. The Raiders, they are leading the competition at the moment. 5 straight wins at least in the last 5 weeks. The Eels just the one against the Titans. Ella, who are you tipping in this one?
In this one, I'm obviously going for the Raiders. You thought I would go Eels.
Well, look, I'm going to go. I'm going to surprise a lot of people here.
You go for the Raiders.
I'm going to go for the Raiders
Yes.
because I want to get a perfect round this weekend. So
Okay, no,
I need to
that's
get
my
back
job
up.
now.
I'm going to try and sneak some points in.
No, that's my job.
So I'm going to go the Raiders because I just think they'd be really tough to beat down there. And that
Good
way,
job.
if Parramatta do end up winning, then I lose a point in the tipping competition, but Parramatta win the game. So I'll be happy each way.
Yeah, but good job for not going Para. That's very good. Everyone give a round of applause.
All right, 2 traditional rivals play the middle game Saturday, 5:30 p.m. at a cool stadium. It's the Bulldogs taking on the Dragons. And look, as I said, 2 traditional rivals here. They, I think, played in round number 1 at the start of the year. These 2 sides, which they did. It was a 28 points to 20 win for the Bulldogs, with the first of 9 in a row, I think. Lockie Galvin, he has back to the Bulldogs starting side, and Toby Sexton to the extended squad. A lot of talk during the week about that as well. Matt Burton named at 5'8". Stephen Crichton and Kurt Mann are back after sitting out last week. Bronson Cherry is injured, unfortunately, so Crichton replaces Bronson Cherry in the centre position there, so a bit of a blow for the Bulldogs there. For the Dragons, a couple of injuries picked up last week, but they have been named. Hamish Stewart with a knee injury, Luciano Leilua laceration have been named in the 17 despite picking up those injuries. Leilua will start in the back row, Stewart to come off the bench. There are no other changes to the side from last week's game. I think, look, the Bulldogs have got a pretty good record against the Dragons as of late. The Bulldogs, they got the win 12 points to 8 against the Cowboys last week. The Dragons, they have struggled the last couple of weeks. Interesting times at the Dragons. How can they turn this around? Can they turn this around? The Bulldogs, they want to get back into form and get back into their winning ways again and stay close to the Canberra Raiders and see if they can jag a minor premiership. But Ella, who are you tipping in this one?
In this one, I'm going for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, so I'm going to go for the Bulldogs as well.
Yes.
The next game and the last game on Saturday is 7:35 p.m. It is the Melbourne Storm up against the Manly Sea Eagles, 2 traditional rivals here of the, what would you say, the middle, the late 2000s to 2011, I'd say. But 2 big rivals, but this is down in Melbourne, so already I think Melbourne have a head start as well. So for Melbourne, Ryan Pappenhausen, he returns. His return is delayed by another week with calf tightness. So Nick Meaney will start at fullback. Xavier Coates is back on deck. Cameron Munster is also slated to return. Grant Anderson will shift to the centres. Joe Chan move to the 18th man. Trent Liero is also back in the starting side. Tui Kamakamitha shifting to the bench, and Jonah Pezzett moving to the reserves. The Sea Eagles, they had the bye last week, but there's been no changes to that side that beat the Rabbitohs 2 weeks ago. Tom Travojevic remains in the centres, Lehigh Hopewadi at fullback. So, again, always good to have the same sort of side there. The last time these two sides played, it was a big victory to the Melbourne Storm, 48 points to 24. Melbourne Storm on fire. Their last 5 games, 5 wins. The Manly Sea Eagles, 3 wins out of their last 5. Ella, who are you tipping in this one?
Storm.
Yes, I am going...
I just said one word and it was Storm.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say 2. I'm going to go to the Melbourne Storm. And, yeah, I think they will do it pretty comfortably,
that was 4
I think.
words.
Melbourne Storm?
No, you said you're going for the...
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
that's
there you
4.
go. Yeah, okay. There we go. So, yeah, Melbourne. Moving to Sunday and Sunday afternoon football at Leichhardt Oval, 2 p.m. The Tigers take on the Titans. The Tigers going down to the Warriors last week in New Zealand. The Titans going down to the Broncos last weekend. Taylor May has been named to make his Tigers debut after impressing in New South Wales Cup. Adam Dewey shifting to lock. Alex Twell will start at prop. Alex Seyfarth has been named in the back row. Samuela Fanu has picked up a knee injury last weekend. So a few changes there. Captain Tino Fasil Malawi returns to the starting side after coming off the bench last week. Jamin Jolloff is the only change that from their loss to Brisbane last week. Sam Verrills cleared of a concussion and will take his place at hooker. So good news there for the Titans after a week where Kieran Foran announced his retirement from rugby league at the end of the season. Leichhardt Oval. This is the first time they've played this season, but last year it was an 18-10 win to the Tigers, and they only played once last year, and the year before that it was 28 points to 12 to the Titans on the Gold Coast. So, look, I think the Tigers, they've shown a little bit of form here and there. They are really struggling at the Titans. I don't know why. It has been, I think, announced that Des Hasler will be moving on at the end of the year. Ella, who are you going for in this one?
I'm going for the Tigers.
Yeah, look, I think the Tigers could get the win as well in that
We've
one.
agreed on most of our tips, haven't we?
Yeah, I think we've only got a couple different.
Good.
Yeah, that's
Good
what
job.
that's what a tipping comp's about. But the last game of the round, 4:05 p.m. up there in Newcastle, the Newcastle Knights and the New Zealand Warriors. This should be a good game. The Newcastle Knights have been in the news this week with coach Adam O'Brien looking to be moved on at the end of the year. Nothing confirmed at the moment, I don't think. So interesting times up there. So a little bit of turmoil going on up there in Newcastle. So Dane Gagai will captain the side from fullback. He will go there. Fletcher Hunt will start in the centres. Big loss for Newcastle though. Dylan Lucas, foot injury. Brodie Jones comes into the starting side. Tyson Gamble is a new face on the bench. For the Warriors, just one change that beat the Tigers last week. Kurt Capewell comes back into the side after his origin duties for Queensland, and he replaces Rocco Berry, who actually got injured on the weekend as well, a shoulder injury. The Warriors beat the Newcastle Knights on Anzac Day this year, 26 points to 12 over there in New Zealand. The Warriors, they will still want to probably... they are in 4th spot, so they are 4 points ahead of the Broncos at the moment. So they'll want to try and stay in touch with this top 4, or stay in the top 4, and just hold those Broncos at bay, as the Broncos have the bye this weekend. So they will get 2 points closer to the Warriors. So a big game for the Warriors. Ella, who are you tipping in this one?
Are we on the last one?
That's right, yes.
I'm going for the Knights.
The Knights. I'm going to go the Warriors in this one. I think It
Kind.
yeah, it does mean I think a lot more for them. Obviously, it does mean a lot for Newcastle to get the win, but I think it means more for the Warriors to get the win just to stay in that top 4 region. So I am going the Warriors. So for our tips this week, and as I said just before there, the Broncos, they have the bye this weekend.
Bye-bye.
So, Ella, your tips for this round number 20 are...
Dolphins, Roosters, Panthers, Raiders, Bulldogs, Storm, Tigers, and the Knights.
And I am going the Dolphins, Sharks, the Panthers, Raiders, Bulldogs, Storm, Tigers, Warriors.
Good job.
So
I've said good job so many times this week.
You have. So I think we might have 2 different there. So best of luck. Enjoy your footy over the weekend and stay tuned to the Paracave Podcast Instagram page for the results of the round that was.
And for the tipping post without it.
Yes, that'll come out on Thursday.
Good job. I said it again.
That'll come out on Thursday as well. Just if you want to know our tips, if you want to follow our tips, let us know how many we're going to get.
You should follow mine.
Yeah, maybe. See if you get another perfect round. Good luck.
What if I do?
Well, a bonus. But thank you very much for listening to the Tipping Podcast, proudly brought to you by Shaw Strata Reports and also Buddy Oldman Masters Boxer. Give them a follow on Instagram. That would be much appreciated. Enjoy your footy over the weekend and may your team win. And look, the Paracave Podcast by the fan or fans and for the fans. Go Para.
Bye.
Ellen, how you going,
Russ.
mate? Are you a Paracave Podcast listener?
I am, bro. It's a
Okay.
great podcast. Everyone tune in. Sure.
Go Para.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Paracave Podcast.